It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our way. Won't you come my side, where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd, just you and me together. When I sing that outside, just us in the sky, I will go wherever, be yours forever. Are we part of this circus? Is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate? At least now I'm feeling better, I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come my side, where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd, just you and me together. When I sing that outside, just us in the sky, I will go wherever, be yours forever.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio, Rise and Shine, your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
Of course, we want to say good morning to you this morning. It has been a minute and we are still here. I want to say a pleasant good morning to our listeners and our viewers this morning, who are viewing us on Facebook, YouTube, and or Instagram this morning. I want to say, I want to insist. Let me turn on our sound this morning. I think we're having a little difficulty with one thing or another. So this morning I want to say, for those who are just joining us for the first time, the very first time, it is indeed an interesting place to be this morning, right here on the breakfast hour on Flashpoint. I want to say, forgiveness is good sometimes, when you mess up. Good morning, Elise.
You have been known to do that same
Yes, yes,
thing
yes, yes, yes.
over
And
and
over
over
and
and
over
over
again.
again. And the Bible says, "How many times should I forgive you?" And I remember some reference in scripture that speaks about 70 times 7. And I have not been keeping up with my additions. Yes, I have not. But is there someone out there that you need to forgive? I mean,
Forgiveness comes in, you know,
I would hasten to say, Mikey G, you are forgiven. You are
yeah.
forgiven. No, no apologies
I
necessary.
feel better. I feel better already. Thank you so much.
Well, on that note, I just want to remind our listeners, yes, that today being a very special day for us. Yesterday I should have said happy birthday to Sir Dennis De Freitas. And
Ah,
yes, Mikey G. A lot of wonderful persons are born in the month of January.
my father. I was born in the month of January.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. So, but needless to say, I will, uh, let the listeners know the other days that are celebrated today. And so, without further ado, today being the 16th of January, but I'm sure it's time for our devotional, is it?
Yes, I think it's time for a devotional. I think when we come back, we can actually have the conversation about what today is. No doubt about it. You know, we have been so careful this week. So many things has happened, right? And we are making some different choices for
Yes,
2025.
yes.
Different choices. M&M Construction will be our sponsors for the devotional this morning, right here on Flashpoint.
Looking to build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345 927 7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345 927 7509.
Good morning. This is day 16. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. Frightened by a Boxer, written by Dennis DeHaan. On a bright Sunday morning, one of my boys, who was just a little fellow, was walking to church with me. Soon, the sights and sounds of a new day invited him to skip on ahead. Suddenly, his carefree progress came to an end. A few yards away was a Boxer dog looking at him. Stopping abruptly, my son turned and rushed to my side. Only when his hand was securely in mine and he knew I was right beside him was he able to walk undisturbed past the Boxer. What a picture of our pilgrimage through this world. From time to time, the fierce-looking obstacles of illness, money problems, or personal conflicts appear before us, striking fear into our hearts. At first, we are bewildered and life seems to be at a dead end. But then By faith, we make our way to the Savior, realizing we dare not go forward without the assurance of His presence. As we completely trust in Him, He helps us face the future by walking with us each step of the way. If anxiety and dread are lurking on the threshold of your tomorrow, remember God's wonderful promise in Isaiah 41, verse 10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Though there are dangers untold and a stern confrontation are in the way, willingly still would I go, nor turn, but trust you for grace each day. Our quote this morning reads, if you can't find a way out, look up. End quote.
So here,
If you can't find a way,
if you can't find a way out, look up.
yes.
And actually the theme or the scripture for meditation for the devotional is my favorite. It's my favorite verse. It comes from Isaiah 41, verse 10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with my righteous right hand. And of course, that story says, are you in a situation, you're walking happily along, and then this dog, and this fierce dog, yes, this boxer dog comes out, and you're just stunned, and you can't.
Devastated.
Yes. What is that focus of fear for you? What is that thing that just jumps out in your way when you're trying to go to the next level? What is that, and what do you do? And the reassurance this morning is that God, you can put your hand in Him, you can just look up, you can just trust Him, because He will see you through and pass. Even though the dog may be roaring and fierce or whatever it is, might be just like
Yes.
your circumstances may seem that way, God's got you. Yeah.
Every single time, we find ourselves. I was watching a little clip during the course of the week.
Yes.
This week, of course, this week has gone so fast. It's already Thursday.
Yes.
We are here on the breakfast hour one more time, and there's a lion chasing. I think some. I think it's a. Is that it's a moose or a buffalo? I think, but they were chasing, and they
Yes.
were running away from the lions.
Right.
And the lions were just ferociously chasing and just coming and just running. And then the animal turned around with those long horns and faced the lion.
Yes.
The moral of it was life begins when fear ends.
Life begins when fear ends.
As long as fear captures you and captivates you or have control over you,
Yes.
you have no control over what you do. Fear takes charge of you as a person.
I've told you, I think I've shared with you my experience with fear, where the physical demonstration or results of fear where your body becomes numb and you cannot move. You're like heavy, like a ton of bricks instantly. Fear really paralyzes you, it cripples you, and of course you can't move. You can't. You're just stuck.
In
You
in
know.
one position and cannot move. Troubles
Yeah.
you. And
Yes.
yeah, getting rid of fear is a key factor in making progress. If you want to
Yes.
progress in life, you have to get rid of the fears that hold you
Yes.
hostage to failure, right? And not and don't get anybody wrong here. Failure means that progress is actually taking place.
Right.
It sounds a way to say it like that. You failing at something tells the story that you're actually making progress
Yes.
because you're actually testing the ground of seeing how you can succeed at this thing that you want to achieve, right? And so many people see failure as a wicked or as this. There's a word, there's a concept I want to bring forward. It's as if it demeans you when you fail.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
failure demeans you. You know, and
Yes.
people look down on you when you're failing.
Yes.
You know, but here's something I'm learning these things, you know, and I'm telling you it's good for me every single time because what it does for me, it always empower me and give me the stamina that I need. You know,
Yes.
that every time you see when you know, having a ridiculous idea, it's only ridiculous until it becomes real, till it actually works, right? For everyone who hear you with the idea or what you're doing, oh, that is a stupid thing. That's foolish. That's rubbish. That's nonsense. Why do you waste your time doing this? Until it works, it's like, oh my God, it did work? Oh my, what? You know, it becomes real, right? And everybody know like, oh, how did you do that? I did it when you were there telling me how stupid I was. That's the time when I did it. Of course, when we come back, we'll talk about the days that we have and what today represents right here on Flashpoint.
You ever hear earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of way. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, hover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without air. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take for yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, don't want to run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Drop, cover, and hold on this morning. When we come back. Of course, welcome back this morning to the breakfast hour. You are here with us, of course, Mikey G, and of course, Lady Elise, your host this morning on this morning's program.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't know what's happening in your neck of the woods. And right now we are located in Georgetown, Grand Cayman. It's a sunny morning here. And, you know, it has been quite a busy week, especially for those in the tourism industry. I know that there have been cruise ships more mornings than normal. I believe it's also going to be a busy morning because we certainly have visitors visiting the shore of
Grand Cayman.
Grand Cayman, and of course, so there's a buzz in the air. But of course, if you have traveled on the roadways this morning, it is free and still a beautiful morning. Schools are in session, of course. So if you're coming from the eastern districts, you know, I know you have to contend with traffic, but certainly I hope you would have chosen to bring a flashpoint with you on your phones, because we can travel with you in your cars. But needless to say, let's find out what's happening beyond our shores this morning. And of course, today is International Hot and Spicy Food Day.
Hot and spicy.
Yes.
Mood.
Food.
Food.
Hot and spicy food day. Yes, and not all of us can manage the hot and spicy.
You know,
Let's just share at least 4 days that are celebrated beyond our shores, and certainly it's an opportunity for us to also learn what's happening outside our small circle. And today is the washing of Bonfim, the feast of Bonfim, and National Quinoa Day. Have you ever had quinoa?
yes, I had a opportunity to have a little bit of that sometimes ago, but you know,
Yeah, I've tried it to mix it up.
I've tried it, but I would tell you right off, I'm not really a big fan of it. You know,
Uh, yeah,
this is my thing. This is my thoughts in there. So I had enjoyed it a little bit.
you
But
have to get used
used to
to,
the idea.
yes, and then sometimes you can put your own little spin on it, because I have put a little bit of coconut milk and so on. You know, I'm going to be sharing, and on that note, I'm going to be sharing the changes that I have personally made in my life,
Right.
since I have, uh, well, I would say I've acquired a little bit more knowledge in certain areas. And some of the things I've switched my deodorant. Yes, I'm going to share with you
Ah,
one that was recommended. And also when it comes to diet, the things that I have done differently and the difference it has made. And one of those things is, yeah, I know it's a lot of work, guys, but my coconut.
it's
I go to the market,
and you get your coconut water.
I get my coconut. No, I'm talking about the dried one.
Oh, the dried coconut.
Coconut. I
Okay.
break it. I take the coconut. I blend it, and then I use it. I really don't go to the supermarket and buy the processed one, and that is something personal. It takes a much longer. Yes, I
Much
agree.
longer process.
It's a much, but these are the baby steps that I am doing to minimize the amount of processed foods. You might say, "Oh, Lady Elise, you're just spending." Well, you know, I guess that's just my little thing that I'm
Right,
doing.
right.
So anyway, that was just a sidebar.
That's the entry. No, that's the entry right there. You know.
That's a sidebar. But there are 2 days, there are two aspects that I'm not familiar with that is being celebrated. And I'm wondering if my listeners share the same view, or even you, Mikey G.
Right.
So let's explore them a little bit further and see if there's something worth exploring, right?
Okay.
Bonfim, that's Bonfim,
Bonfim.
the washing of Bonfim. Eh?
What is
So
that?
it's actually unique to the country of Brazil. Now, the washing of Bonfim, also known as the Feast of Bonfim, is a vibrant celebration in Salvador, Brazil. People gather at the church, the Bonfim Church, where local and visitors take part in a lively procession. The, the event centers around the symbolic washing of the church steps with water,
Mm.
scented with flowers, creating a colorful and joyful atmosphere. Women dressed in the traditional white lace dresses carry out this ritual, their movements graceful and rhythmic, echoing a deep connection to faith and tradition. This day holds special significance for the people of Bahia. It blends religious devotion with cultural pride, creating a sense of unity among those who participate. the mix of Catholic and African traditions adds depth to the event, making it a unique celebration that captivates everyone who witnesses it. So, of course, I'm going to find the history is it began in the 18th century in Salvador, Brazil, and it started as an act of faith. Originally, enslaved Africans and their descendants took the lead in organizing the event. They wanted to honor both their beliefs, blending them into one celebration. So that's something
That's it.
interesting.
You need to, yeah.
No, I had the interesting um, interesting experience of visiting Panama last year during the Easter, and you should see the procession on Good Friday. Mikey G, Mikey G,
Yes.
Mikey G. I think I don't think I can describe it as well as I should, but the streets were blocked and packed, and the procession from where I stood lasted longer than an hour, and they had the whole crucifixion, the burial of Jesus. They had a replica of Jesus, so real. The costumes were fantastic, and so when you're in your neck and you're in your own little world, you're
In your element.
yes. the-
Yes.
so this is a big thing in Brazil. They're washing the steps, and it's called the Feast of Bonfim. This is something new. You've learned it right here on the Breakfast Hour.
Piece of Banfim this morning. Many persons have different kind of, different cultures.
Yes,
In Jamaica, they have the Jamaican motto is out of many or one people.
right,
Out of many, one people, which means there are a lot of different cultural foods.
right.
And you see the Chinese you have so many different cultures there, and everybody have their own way of doing things.
Yeah,
And so you would go to these different events or these different cultural events. We have one that we call the celebrate the Jankunu. Do you remember that one? It's not necessarily so much in food, but the whole festival comes with Jankunu in there, and this is a African celebrated. It's a kind of African heritage.
that's
we are
something that I don't think it's happening again, though. Mikey G.
Many of the things that made us who we are as a people has been subtly eroded. And I will always talk about these things. I mean, we're talking a little bit about the food that we're having, but let's look at what we are doing with culture. Everybody wants to be in one culture. Everybody wants to be American.
Well, that's true.
Everybody wants to be an American. So it's like there's no other culture but the American culture. So right now, even your music is being overrun by
And
the
it's
very,
it's not
the very culture.
yeah, not held in high regard or high value.
And
But
so, yes.
I don't know if you read this message that's in one of our very popular chats, and of course it's from a teacher, and he was sharing his experience with his students, and he asked the students one question. The question is simply, can any of you here and now ever recall a time in the past when you think I did or said something that you think was inappropriate, rude, or way out of line? And at the end, he was saying, ask your children or students the very same thing I asked the kids. And he said, it's refreshing to hear that about yourself when there are no known people like Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, who are the examples that today's youth in 2025 have to look up to as the known examples they are to follow, you know. And then he says, "What a world." Are you listening to this, Mikey G?
I am
Says,
listening to it.
"What a world." And so he says, don't ever disappoint the young people in your circle or area, or ever betray their trust, ever. And I like that. And so when you speak about the culture changing
Mm.
and persons now just aspiring to the American culture,
American dream. Yes.
or the American dream, it is so easy for us to lose.
Our own self. So much is going on, in that same argument that is being presented, one could find some truth in there. But the Bible speaks clearly about evil and wicked. It says
Yes,
that when there's a wicked person, God set up an even more wickeder person. Is that a word? Wickeder?
no, there's no such word as wickeder.
So it sets up a more evil person or somebody
Yes.
more wicked than that individual.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
We as Jamaican can make up our own words. Wickeder. So we know what it means. Exactly. so when we think about it, the whole, I am, when the conversation was good. And
Yes.
when the statement being read, it reads purely clearly that these persons are persons who should never be where they are because of what everybody's saying about them. But guess where the real thing come from? Watch when Russia say about Vladimir Putin being a strong leader that nobody, in fact, I was watching a clip and to that effect. You watch the clip and you saw the Queen of England and they have many soldiers around them guarding them.
Yes.
You watch the United States government and the president and they have one host of men around them. You
Right.
watch, and they show you about 4 different places,
Yes.
and you show you Vladimir Putin have no bodyguards, no one walking with him, and he walks by himself. They say real G, real G. And so it might sound as if I am now lauding this man to be that wicked. But it shows a level of respect that you have to have, even when you don't want to have it.
Yes.
You must, right?
Yes.
And it is sometimes not seen as a positive. But if he wasn't the person who he was in that sense, a lot of things would have gone different for him
Right.
and
Right.
Russia, as it were. I'm not speaking as I see it, right?
Yes.
Because you needed that kind of mindset and that kind of tenacity to stand up against world powers, not just one,
Yeah.
and maintain your core in a society that says you're not welcome. Communism gone, right? I'm not vying for communism, nor am I for anything that goes against our best interest. But here is Donald Trump on the other side, staring at Putin, who is possibly the person who can say, I am not going to talk to you about this again. That kind of thing, right?
Yes.
And here we are, he's battled with so many lawsuits, criminalized, and
Oh,
questionable thinking, or the truth behind the story. I watch some of those stories come apart after time, because propaganda is a really real thing. And I'm not going to say Donald Trump or whatever it is not guilty of anything or not guilty of this. I watch propagandists and espionage at work in its best form, and it fools the best of us into
yes.
believing a lie, But whatever it is, and we are setting a very bad example for our youths. I don't think it started there. I think it started a long time ago. let's look at how government treat us as people within local circles.
Yes.
You pay for security and you offer us brutality. You live in a society that sometimes treats you less than people, less than cattle. Dogs sometimes amounts to more than some persons. You
Yes.
have to watch these things. But we look at the higher thing, you know. But I would look at this as a broad scale. How do we treat each other? This morning we're talking about how we, there's a little devotion coming on. I want to talk about how we would be mindful about the persons next to us, and we would try to give to the poor and the needy. But yet still the poor and the needy is least on our mind when we actually finish talking. I want that to be a thing, right? But here I am today, knowing fully well that no matter where you go, if evil exists or wicked exists, God says he set up a wickeder or more wicked person to take charge. We have to use those things as templates. That's corrective measures. That's just my point of view, you know. I mean, it can be challenged. I mean, it's not a matter of challenging it, but it's just what I think.
Yes, of course, and we always value, and you know what, when you get what you get from that too, as you know, and I don't want to cancel what I said earlier, or share that message that I shared.
No, the message is not. No, the messages is not cancelled. Can't be.
No,
It is factual and true.
right. So the message being, when you know someone share that, be the example, because around the examples that are shared, you don't necessarily agree with them. So you in your corner be a good role model. But also, you know, when I look at these political leaders, can I tell you I admire one thing about them, Mikey G? I admire their tenacity. The fact that no matter how much lawsuit and how much things are being said about them or how much negative, it's not like they're curling up in their bed and saying, listen, I am not
coming
going
out.
out there.
You have to get
I
out.
am not going out to face the camera. I am not going out to face the music. They get up.
When you
I'm
put yourself,
telling you.
when you put yourself out there, you set yourself up for scrutiny, you know.
Yes.
When you
and
say
they're
something,
fine.
your people scrutinize everything you say. I say something a while ago and somebody said, Mikey G, I'm not agreeing with you because of what and what and what and what. And I think Mikey G thinks this, and I think him think that. And,
Yes.
and you formulate what you think because of what I say, which is usually, you know, because it's only what I think that I can speak. My thoughts,
Yes.
my speech is a sum total of what my thoughts are.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I will speak based on those thoughts, right? Here we
Well-
have Monica Lewinsky, who would have, with the president elect and president of the United States of America, and you remember Clinton's story, and she went and she had or whatever it is,
Our infamous blue dress.
our infamous blue dress was materialized 1 year after or 2 years after. I'm not sure how long afterwards.
I don't remember.
But it wasn't a day. It
and I
wasn't a
don't
week.
want to say because I don't remember.
Right, no, hold on. Let's go. It wasn't a day, it wasn't a week. And then it materialized after a year or more with evidence of DNA in it. So she puts it in a bag, store it for the day that she's going to come out and say that I don't want to exactly say all of that right now. It's a breakfast hour time. But then when you listen to that story, no, just be clear and see where Michael G stands. When I listen to stories like those,
Yes.
I can feel bad. I can feel real bad about stuff like that because you can't bag up a piece of something after you're done. It's on you. You know, whatever you did. And for those who don't know what the Lewinsky story, she wrote a book about it. Go check out her book of how she the president's yes. So go look for that story. And you make a book and a life out of something like that. It
That's
bothers
an
me.
example. That's another thing that
and
you're
those
showing.
are bad examples for me. When you and people lauded the action that she did. You went out and jumped out at it and said, oh, she had rights to do something as wicked and as stupid as that. No, whatever the concept, whatever they were happening in there, just to show what she did, showed a level of intent beyond anything else. In fact, it shows that that was a setup. It shows that they were implicated. That the president of the United States.
Corey Karen is gonna beat me. Instaria.
Yes. It shows,
Instaria. Corey Karen, I hope
it
you
shows that the
watching
president of the
me
United States at
and
the
you
time
are gonna-
was set up. But it is a clear evidence, and I am happy that Curly Karen. Good morning, Curly Karen. Of course, she's
I
smiling.
hope
right now,
she's
laughing
listening
at the
because
idea.
I know she said, Lady Elise, I've told you on more than one occasion. I've corrected you, I've given you, and for the life of me, I keep on not saying the words correctly, but forgive me.
Well, for one thing for sure, though,
Yes.
it is very important that we follow suit. Understanding,
suit.
Yes, follow suit. When we see evil and we see wicked things happening, we must be quick to notify and to be quick to to see it. And
Yes,
actually identify it.
right.
We're not saying that people don't do wrong things,
Yes,
but the wrong things that we do. Come on, there's a level of evil that precedes that.
yes.
Yes. I watch the Bill Cosby saga. Noah quitted after. Hold on. Noah quitted.
But Mikey G, before
No.
you go,
I'm just looking at all these things. I look at the Bill Cosby thing.
why did we open the door? Because
I
you
don't
need
know.
to share that clip. You know you need to share that clip.
I'm coming.
with
I'm
your
going
news
with it now.
right?
But
Yeah.
I looked at the Bill Cosby story, and Noah quitted of all the things that he was accused of after damaging everything that he built. I mean, it's just suspect to me. It just a black man achieving that award from man of the.
Don't open that can of worms
I don't know.
right now.
I'm gonna go. I draw the risk out a while ago. I'm sorry.
And of course, this clip that we want to share with you was shared by one of our VIPs, and she found it so impactful. And as we start 2025, we're still in the first few weeks of the year. One of the things that we need to continue or consider to be deliberate about is that idea of gratitude. And this year has started off quite interesting for me, and I had to say thank you, God. I said thank you, God, for everything, the ups and the downs, and I know you're working it out for all our good. So, of course, this is a very interesting feature. Tell me what you think about it, Mikey G, and I'm sure the listeners, if you have not already seen it on social media, tell us what you think about it.
Well, all right, because it is. Let me do our commercial first, and then when we come back, we definitely will allow our listeners to hear this lovely speech. I definitely, it impacted me a lot, I must say.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Good day, everyone. Our names are are Adina, Alina, and Amina, and we are 8 years old. We are conjoined triplets, 3 sisters with 3 minds and 3 hearts, but one body and one voice. From the moment we were born, life has not been easy, but we stand here today as a living testimony of God's grace, love, and unending mercy. Our story began in a hospital where we took our first breath. The doctors and nurses were amazed by us, but our parents were overwhelmed. They were afraid of what our lives would look like and what people would say. They thought we wouldn't survive or that we would suffer too much. So, they made a decision that we didn't understand then, and still don't fully understand now. They left us. They abandoned us in that hospital, leaving us without their love and protection. But even in that moment, God was already working. You see, God has a plan for each of us. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." And in his plan, he sent us an angel in the form of a nurse named Mary. Mary didn't see us as a burden or a problem. She saw us as a blessing, as 3 beautiful girls created by God for a purpose. She took us in when no one else would, gave us a home, and loved us as her own. Mary has always told us that God makes no mistakes. Psalm 139:14 says, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." She reminded us every day that even though we are different, we are wonderfully made by God. We may share one body, but we each have our own spirit, our own dreams, and most importantly, we share one face. Growing up, we faced challenges that sometimes felt impossible to overcome. People stared at us, whispered about us, and even laughed. There were days when we cried, asking God why we were made this way. But Mary always said, "God has a purpose for your life, and when the time is right, He will reveal it to you." We held on to her words, and as we grew, we began to understand what she meant. One thing we've learned is that God's love is greater than any pain or rejection we've faced. Romans 8:38-39 says, "For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depths, nor anything else in all creation, will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord." That love has carried us through every hard moment. We've also found strength and joy in sharing the gospel. When we speak, you hear only one voice, but that voice carries the power of 3 hearts, united in love for God. We believe He gave us this unique voice to reach others, to tell them about His goodness, and to remind them that they are never alone. We often tell people about Psalm 40.
All right. I hope you yeah. That one stung a little bit.
You know, it's been a very interesting and inspiring breakfast hour, not only for the listeners but also for me as well. We started off by speaking about that boxer dog in a devotional that just jumped out of nowhere with his child on his way to church with his family, and he was so fearful he ran to his dad. And I don't know, this triplets conjoined, this story that was shared very popular on social media, and different circumstances, people laughing at you.
Yes.
Have you had a situation that you find persons laughing, persons looking and say, watch her now, she just gonna just fit.
People find it so appealing and pleasant
You
to watch
know.
you fail and be happy about it.
No, and probably we should share these experiences after the news, because I actually had a conversation with someone who is being treated so unfairly by her employers, and she wasn't complaining per se, but what she was saying, can you believe these persons are Christians? They go to church every week. I don't go to church. They treat me so poorly.
Wickedly.
And so you can say, I don't lie, I don't steal, I don't commit adultery, I haven't murdered anyone.
But you treat your workers
kindly.
poorly and unkindly.
That's the question.
That don't amount to any of the no. That is not in the rule book. So I guess I'm out of the that I will be a part of that.
On that note, it's news time.
I tell you, it's not easy to see us behaving badly and treating others wickedly. But I took from this little clip this morning so much, how much when you throw away something you think is worthless, somebody else find value that is beyond comparable to anything else that you see. Of course, News Time brought to you by Asai Ultrasound. For all your ultrasound needs right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. And of course, today is no different than any other day. I want to say welcome to all our listeners, all our viewers, whether you be on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram this morning, of course, soon to be X. We want to say welcome to the Breakfast Hour, of course, to our listeners on radio, www.flashpointmedia.ky, right here in the Grand Cayman Islands.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Good morning, Cayman. This is Corley Karen with your Breakfast or News Roundup. Andre Ebanks to lead new Caymanian Community Party in election battle. Former Deputy Premier Andre Ebanks has been named the leader of the newly formed Caymanian Community Party, which will contest the next general election in April. The party has announced a slate of 7 candidates, including sitting MPs Wayne Panton, Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes, Sabrina Turner, and Heather Bodden. Newcomers include sustainability advocate Emily Decoux and former Cabinet Minister Osborne Bodden. The party is aiming to secure the 10 seats required to form a government. Ebanks, who left the independent coalition in October, was unanimously elected leader at the party's founders' meeting on Sunday. Police record 550 traffic incidents during Holiday Road Safety Campaign. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service reported over 550 traffic incidents during its Winter Guardian campaign from December 16 to January 6. Among these were 2 fatal collisions on Boxing Day, bringing December's total to 4 deadly crashes and 2023 year-end total to 14 deaths from 11 crashes. Officers prosecuted 85 speeding offenders, 23 DUIs, and 122 cases of unlicensed vehicles. Despite a busy New Year's Eve, police noted no major vehicle collision or violent incidents. Cayman dive pioneer Don Foster remembered. The Cayman community mourns the loss of Don Foster, a trailblazer in the scuba diving industry who passed away on January 13 at age 73. A former dive master at Bob Sutter's, Foster inspired generations of divers and photographers, earning recognition in the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame. He will be deeply missed by the diving community and beyond. In regional news, Justice Minister Delroy Truck urges lawmakers to resist Integrity Commission requests. Justice Minister Delroy Truck has advised MPs to withhold information about the salaries of their spouses and children from the Integrity Commission. Speaking at a parliamentary committee meeting, Truck argued that such details are personal and should not be the subject of disclosure. He also proposed limits on the Commission's investigative scope, sparking concerns about transparency. In world news, FDA bans red dye number 3 in food. The US FDA has banned the use of red dye number 3 in foods and ingested drugs due to cancer risks identified in lab rats. The decision follows decades of advocacy by health groups. Food manufacturers must comply by January 2027, while drug makers have until January 2028. The dye, already banned in cosmetics, has been criticized for its potential health risks, especially for children. Israel and Hamas agree to Gaza ceasefire. Mediators have announced a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas to halt the war in Gaza and secure the release of hostages. The conflict, which began in October 2023, has claimed over 46,000 Palestinian lives and killed 1,200 Israelis. Joyful celebrations erupted in southern Gaza as the ceasefire news broke. That's your news roundup for this morning. Stay tuned for more updates throughout the day.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Flashpoint Radio, rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
Chris, welcome back. The breakfast hour, of course, you guys are chatting. Lady Elise, it was, man. So much conversation here.
Yeah, so much good conversation though. A lot happening in the news. I want to thank Curly Karen for the able way in which she presented the news. A new political party here in Ireland, and a new team that has forged ahead. And of course, so much to expect in the next few coming months here in Cayman Islands. But I take note of also what's happening in Jamaica, where of course privacy. Where does
Privacy ends, or where it begins? Where does it end?
Where does it end? Because certainly now they require not only you to disclose,
but your wife, no.
But also those related to you.
No.
How do they get there? How much income do they earn? How much?
No.
And but I've always spoken about the proverbial box, Mikey G.
Yes.
And living in the box. And those persons who have decided to come out of the box and question, but once you get in there, these are the things that you must adhere to.
Find yourself in a
These are the
situation.
things that must happen. And we spoke about the whole political landscape, and once you get involved in politics too, Mikey G, you have to have a thick skin. You can't
Politics and the tricks.
You can't be just thin skin and then lazy thing, then just use a pin
and burst it like a balloon.
No, your skin have to thick.
We were talking about that this morning. I want to say, shout out to the West Bay leader, Makiba Bush, this morning, on the thick skin. I don't think I'm gonna give him all the hype right now. As the thickest skin in Cayman right now is the honorable. Let me just respect the man the way I'm supposed to respect it. The Right Honorable Makiba Bush.
Politics come with thick skin, and also I believe that should be.
Yes.
Living should come with thick skin.
Come on, living should. You have to have it. You have to develop
thick skin. And you need to break down the thick skin, Mikey G. What it means to have a thick skin.
Just be black people. That's it.
No. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
Thick skin means that people shoveling dirt on you all week, all year, all your life, and you just shrug it off and just stand up as if it's not there. They put all the kind of manure upon you to make you smelly. And try to destroy you. But in the midst of all of that, you stand strong and brazen enough to look in their eyes and still stand firm and speak with confidence, right? That's what it means.
That's what
maintaining your position of the core of who you are. That's it. So I would pride myself as having a thick skin myself.
Let another man praise you and
don't worry about the next man. The next man, I don't know why he should praise me, so I won't tell him. And then
of course the traffic, we find the amount of traffic offenses that of course the Cayman Islands police officers have reported, and we have reminded our listeners, we have reminded our viewers, and of course our listenership goes way beyond our locality. Way beyond where we are. We are not in that box. Sorry guys. We are we have come out of the box.
No, I
And
mean,
so,
I refuse to be contained in any
uh,
little. Nobody.
so
I don't think we want to have anyone determine or deciding where we can be or not to be.
so with
No.
that
So
said,
I
I
will not
say
allow that to happen to myself, and I would ask others to please don't find yourself in that situation where you have persons who want to determine that for you and think that you have no other prospect or hope to survive, and just you just in fact change your mindset,
yes,
and then you change your prospect.
yes,
Yeah, I mean, and
yes.
not down prospect side, but
Change your mindset and then change
change
your
your prospect.
prospect.
Yes, it will change
Yes,
your prospect.
yes. So, wherever, saying that to say, wherever you are, be safe on the road.
Mm.
Adhere to the road code. Please, if you notice that, if you know that you have had a little bit too much
To drink
uh, sorrel with rum in there,
with a little bit of with a lot of with more spirit,
with more spirit.
with more spirit,
And
because that was what
if
was
you're
required.
tired, do you know that
Yeah,
if you're tired, it's just um,
yeah,
as detrimental to your driving skills?
ah,
So if you know that
less
you're
spirit,
exhausted,
less spirit.
um, take a rest, take a rest, or get someone else to drive.
I was going to go to the part that you said when you have the spirit in there in the sorrow is what required. That was required for COVID-19. And more spirit you had, it was you were able to go out more with persons who had that amount of spirit. But the churches were closed, and because they didn't have enough of that, so I'd have to put that right there. Of course, as you mentioned, sleepiness on the road when you're driving.
Yes, yes,
Tardiness is a killer, guys.
yes,
It's dangerous. I was driving the other day, and I'm driving quite a bit, a lot of miles, and while I was driving, I started feeling a little sleepy. So what I did, I wind down the window a little bit to get the breeze in my face. But the best solution for that is to stop and take a 5 minutes and relaxation time. Close your eyes, and then maybe get a little bit of
yes,
water splash in your face. Wake yourself up again, and then get going. If you're gonna do long distances, if you're gonna drive for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is you
yes.
wanna do, please, just stop. In fact, there are rules and laws in some places that
And don't
tells
text
you.
and drive. Don't text.
In some places when you're driving, that if you drive beyond this, and this is for truckers and people who are doing cargo and freighting, right?
Hmm.
If you're driving over a certain amount of distances, you have to. You have a clock that tells you you must stop. And if
Yes.
you find yourself in an accident and they check your log and you didn't log in that time for rest, you can't miss prosecution.
Wow.
So there are rules, and of course, they are there for not just the safety of others, or not just the safety for yourself, but the safety of others. Because when you are unsafe, everybody is not safe around you, and so we want to ensure that everybody operates in a safe environment. Motor vehicles licensing and has been a situation for quite a while. Some persons, they have recorded a number of persons who have not had insurance on their vehicles and were prosecuted, which gives the government a lot of money in their coffers, which I think the government, while not getting the license going on, they are still benefiting from the prosecutions, maybe more. But anyways, people, please don't let the government benefit so much from prosecuting you. Just pay the money, no man. Sure, pay the money. Pay the money.
Pay the money.
Pay
Pay
the
the
money.
money.
Pay the money. Pay the money. Go and get your car license. Of course, it's a little thing going on. I won't even get into that part of it. I leave it right there. The dying food is one of the things that came out at me a while ago, Lady Davis. Die in the
Oh
food,
yes,
right?
yes,
And
and of course, I, my mind swiftly went to conversations Dr. Guest has had right here
mm,
on Flashpoint, and we need to reach out to him for the new year, and because certainly this is information that he has shared on more than one occasion. Read the labels. We have to read the labels, see what is in our
Well,
food,
well,
see what we are ingesting.
for those who missed yesterday's episode of the Breakfast Hour, please go back and take a look at the advice that came from Dr. K's presentation about how we should take care of ourselves. And of course, we touched a little bit on food and the type of food that we eat. Fast foods are processed foods, as it were, that we actually are ingesting, and is one of the biggest go-to for actually having a meal these days. So we have to really be careful at what we are eating, and of course be mindful of what we put in our bodies.
Yes,
First, we want to say our bodies is not just for us, but it is also the temple of God. We want to say, guys, while you take care of yourself, take care of yourself, because you want to respect the Almighty God by taking care of your body. Watch what you eat. And we also looked at the idea, ladies, at planting foods, planting what you eat what you plant, or grow what you eat and eat what you grow, is a concept. Back in the 1970s, when I was growing up, I remember that being a slogan from one of our then prime ministers, our politician who came up with it. It was quickly brought to a little bit, got a lot of stigma on it, and people were very wicked to destroy the very thing that would have saved us in the long run. But it didn't get a lot of traction. It sounded like it was really ridiculous at the time, and people made light of it. Today, we are listening to the conversation that we are not planting enough wholesome food. We hear the word organic. It sounds like it's an what you
being
call
thrown up, and it's
it,
more
it, it
expensive. Organic foods, yes,
organic. The word organic is sounding like it is a new word, or it's a new concept, or it's something
yes,
that has been common, that came up out of some person's minds brilliance. Right? Organic was what God made. It wasn't anybody brilliance. What brilliance was the ridiculousness of destroying the actual food that God made.
right.
You know that we and then bring all sorts of disease upon us by producing um, what you call, Donald Trump would say, fake news, fake foods. And then we are now having fake foods, eating fake. You don't have any seeds in most of the stuff you eat anymore. And we are celebrating this ingenious way of growing things, because it is you know, and so we see this as a better go-to, but we are now hearing organic food as being the food that everyone needs to have. And then you start to wonder, so if there's a healthy food section in a store, what is the other section called?
That's a good question.
So there's a paradox for you if you want to find something this morning to think about. Think on these things.
Think on these things. And on that note, Mikey G, it's time for us to head out
Yes.
of studio. And we certainly want to express our gratitude. We want to say thank you for tuning into the breakfast hour. And a lot happened here today. A lot of positive happened here today. And so we invite you to certainly go ahead and share the link so that someone else who needs to know, someone who is coming up on a boxer, not a boxer dog, or a situation that threatens their very livelihood, that they're fearful of, they need to listen to the breakfast hour and notice and know that we are reminding them that certainly it's time for them to look up and certainly to hold on to God, because He has promised that He is never going to leave us
Or
and
forsake us.
He will never forsake us.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, boys and girls. Thank you, listeners, wherever you are this morning. It has been another beautiful morning, and the breakfast hour, second to none. God has been certainly good to us, and we should go through today thanking Him for His many blessings. We pray for our families. I pray for my family and my children, especially wherever they are today. And I wish that everyone would do the same. Pray for your family. Keep them in your hearts. Pray for even families that are not even kind to you, ones that are even disrespectful to you. Still pray for them. Give God thanks for those persons who may treat you badly. because they may be the ones who make you excel more. Stay tuned to Flashpoint. Keep us locked on flashpointmedia.ky right here in the Grand Cayman Islands and of course across the world, across the globe. Have yourself a beautiful day, guys. Go and check out our other videos on our YouTube channel and our Instagram, on our and our Facebook page. Have yourself a God bless day. Stay good. Walk good.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, when I see you outside, just us in the sky. I will go wherever, I'll be yours forever. Are we part of this circus? Is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate?